Go from a fan of the show to star of the show. Send us your opinions now, and they could be discussed live on today's show. Welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hey, good morning, Canada. Welcome to the Rod Pedersen Show, a Football Friday on episode number 225 of Canada's morning talk show. We are on the air with a Football Friday, and oh man, are you sure we're on the air? Are we ready to be on the air? The place is falling apart. How are you, Dupes?
I have to apologize, and this is honest to God, the truth.
For what?
I left my homework at home. My list of the fast food joints. I wrote it all out, and I honestly left my homework at home.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. We did a show last night, and I'll be talking about it. I'll be sprinkling in on Football Friday some of the talk of last night's mental health town hall that we did right here. We did it in the big studio, and you weren't here, of course, because you're not part of that, but everybody else is. So we moved from the big studio to the small studio, and I don't have my headphones, and the mic flash is dropping everywhere, and we weren't ready, I guess.
Well,
what the heck?
that's okay.
But that's okay. Hey, come on in, man. It ain't CNN. Thank you, Ryan. Everybody wants to be perfect around here. We got to where we are by not being perfect, right?
Perfect. You say it about junior hockey. Perfectly imperfect.
That's us.
That's us.
There's a certain charm to that, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Anyways, I haven't got around to sharing the show yet on Facebook. So, folks, would you please share the show on Facebook? Go to the bottom of the screen and hit share to all your friends if you love what we do here every day in the Rod Pedersen Show, coming to you from the bunker in Western Canada. Now I can hear myself. I'm happy.
Yes.
We're good to go.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a lot of, it's a Football Friday, and my quick six show topics are all football. So get ready for that, because we did a lot of hockey yesterday. It's all football today. And John Frenzy's joining us coming up in hour one, block two, as they say in the show business realm. Gord Randall will be with us from Crown Countdown U. That's TSN's University Football Show. He is a football coach from BC. Looking forward to having Gord on to talk about the CFL draft last night. Tony Washington, Montreal Alouettes left tackle and player rep, will be with us. Tony Washington, looking forward to that. And Nolan McMillan, offensive lineman of the Ottawa Redblacks. He was very opinionated on Twitter this week. And of course, Clark sniffed a good guess there, given his opinion. So Nolan McMillan's going to join us to talk about his career, CFL in Ottawa, and a whole lot of other things, CFL marketing, and a recap on the draft last night. Are you ready to roll?
Oh, yeah.
Quick six show topics here in the Rollout for Flooring Superstore. And I might add, Trent from Flooring Superstore was at our house yesterday afternoon. Did I tell you this?
You said it was happening.
Yeah, so he comes to the house. He beat me to the house. So my wife told me that after Trent walks in, looks around the house and goes, "Where's the studio?" I didn't tell you that, did I?
No.
I told Paul last night, and Paul laughed. It does kind of look like a basement, but it's not. We're on the top floor of a North Regina building. Yeah. It used to be in a field, but not anymore.
We call it the bunker. It's kind of like the penthouse, I guess. It's
it wasn't a field, but everything's built up around it. So, anyways, we got the new flooring coming.
Yeah.
It's a long story. Thanks for not asking. Quick six show topics. One, CFL draft takeaways. A plethora of things. A kettle of fish of things to talk about with last night's CFL 2020 draft. It was an exciting night.
Yeah.
Point two, was there a draft winner? Are we willing today to discuss who won the draft? Of course we will. Nobody will be right, but we'll be giving opinions.
Yes.
Point three, the Riders draft, what they did last night, and your thoughts on that, because we are emanating from Saskatchewan, and I think 83% of our viewers do come from the rectangle. So the Riders will be the prime focus of that talk. Point four, CFL federal aid story. It's not going away. I said to you guys in the morning meeting, what's your guys' circle of friends like? Because mine and family too, everybody talking about it. I got my family saying to me, just stay away, please. Just stay away from it because it's such a hot button topic and people are polarized on it. And I said, oh yeah, I've built my career on not taking a side. I'll be fine. I'm okay if people are upset at me. I can handle it. Point five, I was told there will be a statement from Canada West today. Not necessarily just on football, maybe the entire athletic conference. I was told that. I'm not sure it's true. But I just said to the guy that told me that, who, by the way, is a Rams alum. I said, I hope it's good news. The president of the SJHL, the commissioner of the Western Hockey League, both came on here and said they expect their season to start on time in September. Here's hoping Canada West is going to say the same thing.
I hope so.
It could also very easily be subject to change, too, like everything. And point 6, NFL notes. Not much is changing in the league, but there are 3 people that are really being talked about a lot right now: Andy Dalton, Aaron Rodgers, and Cam Newton. So we'll get into all of that. So while I share this, CFL draft takeaways, your thoughts on not only who got whom, the excitement, the TSN broadcast coverage, because that's been heavily debated in my world. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts?
Yeah, of course, we want the coverage to always be better, and that could have been the case for sure. But the draft, it's funny. The first thing is all the Canada West talent that got selected. I mean, congratulations to all of them. I think there was 5 Huskies, 4 Thunderbirds, 1 Dino, 1 Bear, 1 Ram. And
sounds like the Minot Zoo.
And one bison. Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead, Ryan. Go.
Just do it quick.
You guys want to be all fancy schmancy. That's our technical producer, Ryan, who got me my headset.
But no, it was great. And Matlin Riley from the University of Saskatchewan, the offensive lineman, going in the first round, that was great. So like that.
Riley Matlin.
Matlin Riley.
Yeah, I said it backwards.
Yeah, that's okay. So that was good. BC's got, in my mind, I mean, BC comes away as a winner, moving up and getting what they deem, and I think some people deem the best player in the draft in Jordan Williams, the linebacker out of East Carolina. I mean, you get the best player in the draft. And I mean, that's to be determined, but that instantly makes you one of the winners of the draft. And then the Riders taking the shot on Neville Gallimore in the last round with their last pick. He might be the best all-around player in the draft. And if he comes to the CFL eventually, the Riders will be winners in the draft in my mind. But that's not going to happen right away. So it's kind of my initial takeaways.
So thanks for that. I've shared it on all my channels and groups, so thank you. And again, I'll ask you folks, if you're watching and you enjoy the show, please hit share at the bottom of the screen to get it to all your Facebook friends. It would certainly help us out a lot. I'm with you. So here's the thing. I'm at what Paul is calling PSPN, Paul Sports Network. And that's fine. I'm locked outside yesterday. So I'm like, how am I going to watch the draft? Oh, streaming. So I clicked my TSN Go app. Boom. And I'm in.
Yeah.
And I liked the way they opened it up. I liked the comment from Randy Ambrosi. People are talking about the production value of it. Well, it's really no different than what we're watching on ESPN's Get Up and First Take and all those shows. It's everybody's from home and different. So it wasn't what we're used to, but it was as good as it could be. Did you see Farhan Lalji's tweet of his home studio that he set up?
Yeah.
Everybody's making do.
Yeah.
You know? And interesting, by the way, didn't hear any grumbling from general managers from neither the CFL nor the NFL that the drafts weren't pushed back. You knew they wanted to push them back.
Yeah.
But you know, folks, hopefully you're learning a few things along the way from this show, and that is that football operations guys don't usually get their way. They will make a big stink, make their thoughts known, but at the end of the day, the business guys usually win.
Yeah.
Draft is staying where it is. Now, it's different than the NHL. That's a whole other kettle of fish, too, by the way.
Yeah.
How do we have a draft when we don't know what the draft order is because the season never ended? Far different story. Topic for another day. So, draft winner. Will I be nailed to the cross if I say the BC Lions? I'm with you. From a pure excitement point.
Forgot they got Nathan Rourke, too.
That's why.
Okay. I didn't even mention that.
So they trade up to the number 1 pick, which is exciting. And again, Farhan just seemed to be completely knocked off his keister because he was the moderator of the draft, Farhan Lalji, last night on TSN. And if this was the NFL or the NHL, you'd have had the commissioner standing at the podium saying, "We have a trade." Which is exciting.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Farhan just got buzzed in his ear, which, by the way, come on, CFL, help out your broadcast partner. If you knew you were going to make the trade, prep Farhan so he knows. It just seemed like it was dropped right in his lap like a hot potato as soon as he went on the air.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like, and I feel bad for him for that. Because he's a pro, he handled it very well. So they got the number 1 overall pick, a guy that's pro-ready, and dang, he should be because he's 27 years old, Jordan Williams, who was on this show. With our various guests on the program today, I want to ask them this. Why is it in football, if you're out of football for a year or two, it's not a big deal? Which, incidentally, I think it's not a big deal. But if it's a hockey player and he's out of hockey for a year or two, the scouts and the coaches are going, what the hell's wrong with him?
Yeah.
Was he in jail?
Right.
Personal problems?
I know.
It's just a difference. I know the answer. I'd love to know yours.
It's crazy. I mean, but hockey's so strict by the age. Like, it's just bing, bing, bing. You get drafted at this age. You get drafted to the NHL. But, Bantam draft is an age. The NHL is an age. We know what year they come in. It's all done by, when you're in junior hockey, your 17-year-olds, your 18-year-olds. It's all by age. Football's not really like that. It's not about the age of the players, and I don't know. I don't know why that is.
Well, it's not only about the age. It's about, in hockey, there's always a league to play in at various levels, from the NHL to the AHL to the East Coast League to the WHL to the SJHL to the Junior B, Junior C. If you're not playing hockey, there's a problem.
Yeah.
In football, there's thousands upon thousands of available players, but not that many leagues. So to see a guy that hasn't played for a year or two is not a red flag to anybody.
Yeah.
But it's a red flag in hockey. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. If you can't find a team in hockey, what's wrong? If you can't find a team in football, right. There's just no teams.
Yes.
I get it.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, writes in, says, Stamps absolutely made a great trade. Not a memorable one, but a very smart one. This is where sports loses me. I mean, if there was a body going from the BC Lions to the Calgary Stampeders for the number 1 overall pick, I'd be far more interested. I understand there's a reason between you flipping 3rd and 1st and 12th and 15th. I just don't get it. It's why I've never been a general manager. Don't want to be a general manager. I'd rather sit here and talk about it. You guys go do that. It wasn't sexy or exciting. And was it a win of a trade? We don't know. This is what I do know. 100% of teams walk away from the draft table thinking they won. 100% of them. Whoever walks away going, dang,
yeah,
we blew that one. I've never known one.
Right.
And it takes 2 or 3 years before you find out.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't know. And then even then, when it happens, you'll forget about the draft.
Right.
Oh, they were drafted and they won the draft because of this. You'll just think, oh, man, what a great player. When a guy comes onto the spotlight, we seldom look back to the draft as to where he got picked and when he got picked. The teams will know, though, if they've had a good year or a bad year.
We've got a lot of reaction, I guess. Prairie Mobile text line is open, 306-840-8777. That's 840-8777. Prairie Mobile, your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. Brady in Saskatoon says, hey, Rod, what do you think of the Riders drafting Gallimore? I think if he ever does come to the CFL, that was a great pick. Gallimore is a beast. Probably won't ever get to the CFL, sadly. He's talking about Neville Gallimore, 8th-round pick of the Riders, their last pick, who was picked by the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL draft on the weekend out of Oklahoma. Defensive tackle, they just say he's an absolute bitch as a player.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a time, we've discovered or discussed this the past couple of weeks, and that is those Canadian players used to always come back. And there's a couple reasons why they don't. But you look at David Onyemata now with the Saints out of the Manitoba Bisons. Riders took a flyer on him in the 4th round a couple of years ago. Murph and Jones did. They're not seeing him again. And I think one of the biggest reasons for that now is the money is so good. And
even
football,
if you're not playing.
Even if you're not. Brett Jones is making $1 million a year and doesn't play a lot with the Vikings. They make so much money in a short amount of time, they don't really need to come back and play football unless you just absolutely just can't live without football. But for the linemen, a lot of times it's the linemen. Look at Ben Heenan, came back from the Indy Colts, never put on a helmet again, and he's fine. He's farming, and he's just as happy doing that.
Yep.
So with Gallimore, I think why not? There was nobody left on their board, obviously. It's a flyer. Jeremy O'Day said that after the draft. So I think it's a good pick, but I don't think we're going to see him either. Chase Claypool didn't even get drafted.
That's what they think.
Which Craig Smith nailed everything, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
Our director of scouting. Michael in New Orleans is watching. He says, I'd rather play for the Riders than the Cowgirls. Okay. We'll get to a comment here from Trent in Norway in a second. To the Riders draft, by the way, 2 O-linemen, 1 wide receiver, 1 linebacker, 1 D-line, 1 running back, 1 DB. Covered it all.
Yeah.
A very well-balanced draft. I got to think that they're happy with it. Last year was a grand slam for the Riders in the draft. There's no doubt Jeremy O'Day's first. This was just a nice ground rule double. At the very least, got on base. Seems fairly safe. They didn't have a lot of needs. I got to think they're happy with their draft.
And they took the shot with Gallimore at the end. I mean, you take care of your needs, and then at the end, you take a shot. And that's what was the philosophy of the famous scout in Detroit with the Red Wings, and how he got Datsuk and Zetterberg, way deep in the draft. At that point, you're not drafting, role play. He said you can find role players all the time on the free agent wire. I can find a third line center. I can find a fourth line, role player in the free agent wire. That's gonna happen. But that's where you go for skill and you shoot for the fence in those later rounds. And that's what the Riders did with that last pick. They're swinging for the fence. They're not looking for somebody to plug and play in the 8th round. They're looking for somebody who could be a home run. And if Gallimore doesn't work out in Dallas, now the Riders look really good. If he does pan out in Dallas and they never see him, it's an 8th round pick. Probably not seeing that guy anyway. So I like it.
I love all the comments that are coming in from fans from all across the CFL. The Stamps fans are happy with their draft. The Lions fans are happy with their draft. Riders fans are happy with their draft. That's the way it should be. But everybody's happy with their draft in the 24 hours and, dare I say, 2 to 3, 4 months after the draft, until the rubber meets the road, as they say. But from a BC Lions perspective, they stole the thunder of it. There's no doubt. Trading up to get the number 1 overall pick, the best, most pro-ready player. From what I hear, because as you said, you and I, neither one of them watched him play, but he seems that way. We've had him on the show. He's a very engaging guy. You want to put him in front of the media, take him around on all the TV morning shows in Vancouver to get his face out there? Fantastic. The clone of Michael Vick. He says his family likes when I say that about him. And then Nathan Rourke, the Canadian quarterback, who they got in the 2nd round. I see Lauren Smith writing in, who I think was a BC fan, and goes, I'm not convinced that Nathan Rourke will make an impact in the CFL. Maybe not. He's another guy that we've had on this show. Ohio quarterback. Credit to Clark for getting these guys on the program. But Brandon Bridge virtually didn't do a lot. He's in the CFL 5-6 years. He's a huge name. He didn't do a ton.
Right.
He'll be remembered by CFL fans forever. And he is hitting the record book right now as the last Canadian to start a game in the CFL, quarterback.
Yep.
It had been 20 years before that. So now Nathan Rourke is going to be in the news forever. When's he going to get his shot? Once he gets his shot, what's he going to do with it? Can Mike Riley start all 18 games? He hasn't. What quarterback does?
Well, and he's in a situation to succeed, much like Andrew Buckley was in Calgary. Buckley was behind Bo Levi Mitchell, right? A really good established quarterback, a chance to learn. You get your chance in short yardage. Rourke's an athletic guy. He'll do some short yardage, I'm sure, for the BC Lions. And you get to soak that up. Where is Mike Riley in the arc of his career? We don't really know how much time Mike Riley has left, but if there's a guy with, Rick Campbell and Mike Riley and, all the talent out in BC to learn from, there might not be a better spot for a Canadian quarterback to grow and learn the game. And by the time Mike Riley's done, he might be ready just to step in and take over and be the next Canadian guy. But there's no need to rush him out there. He's not in a situation where somebody's trying to rush him on the field because you need a quarterback. And that's a good spot for Nathan Rourke.
Colin in Ottawa says Ed Hervey knows he's in trouble if BC doesn't make the playoffs next season. Had to bolster that defense and pray that the O-line gets it together. For sure, Colin. You don't have to have worked in sports to see or understand the GMs. They'll line a few people up in front of them to take the bullet, but eventually they're the last one left to take a bullet. And he's fired now, what? Well, one coach for sure. Yeah, the target is on Ed Hervey. But to be honest with you, the target's on every general manager and every coach. It's win now, all the time. Ed Hervey knows he needs to win. Guess what? Jeremy O'Day knows he needs to win. Kyle Walters knows he needs to win, and he's the defending champion.
Yeah.
There's no room for error anymore. There just isn't. Murph said it. Even with the fact that their hands were somewhat cuffed with the way that they couldn't interview prospects one-on-one or measure them the way they'd like. Nobody's going to give these guys a pass if they had a bad draft because of the pandemic. So, and by the way, the Argos, which I'm going to read coming up on the sports update, who they got. The kid that Craig Smith predicted would be the number one, the receiver, whose brother plays for the Raptors. There's Murph for you. A little sizzle and substance.
Oh, yeah.
Little cross-promotion there. Two brothers. One plays for the Raptors. One plays for the Argos. Second overall pick, Canadian wide receiver. Dejan is the name. Great pick there. By the I bet you the Argos are real happy, too.
They have
Everybody's
to be.
happy.
You said it. Everybody's happy, right? It's a good spot to be in the day after the draft.
Oh, and Louis Lawner writes in and says, this is the time for Mike Riley to teach the position to the younger quarterback. Which, of what I know of Mike Riley, he probably will. Or are you going to pull on Aaron Rodgers and pout, not do any interviews? Nobody's thinking Nathan Rourke is the heir apparent to Mike Riley. I get that. But is he going to be the guy that mentors the young guys? Darian Durant was never that guy. Right? So, lots to talk about today. John Frenzy joins us next. On the way, Tony Washington of the Alouettes, Nolan McMillan of the Red Blacks, and Gord Randall of Crown Countdown U Television from TSN, and a sports update. This has been the Rollout for Flooring Superstore. You're watching The Rod Pedersen Show, Facebook Live, Game Plus TV Network, and listen live at rodpedersen.com.
You're watching Rod Pedersen On Demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.